learning. Today we are going to discuss a awesome topic called while condition. Then some of you are thinking about what's the major difference between the for loop and while loop. So both are the loop, and where the for loop is using and where the while loop is using. So for loop, we were discussing that thing in the video, so you can just go through that one. The same, if you are just like make a list, like different fruits or different names and everything, and you want to change or you want to have a some function for each item, then we are using the for loop. While loop, without anything, if you are using any kind of program, while loop is just like you are going through that loop and you want to run that loop blindly for many times. So for loop, you want to change each item some modification, but while loop, you want to run that loop blindly forever or until you specified. So today we are going to discuss about the while condition in Python. So I'm going to define a simple function. So if you have ever come across this, what is simple function made? The Python have the function like a print f. Print is a function. The same way we can define our own function. There's a three category: function, plain function, function input, and function output. You can refer other section to discuss about the function input and output. Here we are discussing about how to define a plain function at the same time the call the while loop. So in order to define the plain function, we just use the variable. I'm using the variable energy, then I put the parenthesis and colon. Then maybe I'm just calculate some random thing for better understanding. I'm saying my potential energy is 20 and my kinetic energy is 35, and my total energy is equal to my potential energy plus my kinetic energy. This is like my made a simple equation. Then I'm going to print my total energy. So if I run this one, I get like adding 35 plus 20 and then total energy. If you think it won't come, that's the thing, because the defined energy, and we call this function, but we are not defined that one yet. It's not come to this loop at all. So we using function, so we call that function energy. Now if you define, then it will come. So there is an error because the spelling is not right, so energy. So perfect. So if I'm going to run this one, you can see that 20 plus 35 is 55. So this is the way we define the function. But in order to add the while loop, I would say I'm just defining a variable 0. Then I'm just introducing my while loop. While I, so always when we are defining the while loop, you have to add a condition here. So that's like one of the difference between the for loop. For loop, we are just taking a parameter out of the list, but here we can use the condition, greater than or less than or and or if or any condition we are using. So I'm saying I equal to 0 and I less than 5. Then I'm defining this functionality over here. That means I want to run this define energy function which I define this calculation inside of my while loop. Then if I just go down, I would say what's my I have to, it's like a normal thing. So otherwise I can just say I equal to I plus 1, or there is another way to do it. Can you think about what is that way? That's the way that if you just like plus equal to then 1. So this is like a shortcut in the program we use to say plus function. Okay, so I is equal to I plus 1. Then yeah, that's with everything. So what we happen that it's increase 1. So like a first loop, it's display energy. What is energy? Is so that means energy means this loop is 55. Then it will increase I 1. So first is 0, then like a next case is 1, the second case is 2, and third case is 3, 3 less than 5, 4, 4 less than 5, 5 is not 5 less than 5. So it's like it's run from 0 to 4, that means 5 times, then it will be execute outside. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then it will be executed. So basically what it's writing that we are running this script in the while loop. So it's like always keep in mind the difference between the for loop and while loop. For loop we are using for the list or the finding a modification or just like any adjustment on the parameters inside the list, and also we don't need any condition. For loop for item in the list or for item as list or like that, but while loop we are using the condition to define the thing. So this is the way we are using a simple while loop and also the simple function.